Hello, hello, my dear people. Today I want to talk to you about odors that we have appeared so unexpectedly in our home or in the house. I mean, it's a very common thing to talk about. For example, the smell of smoke or suddenly some stale alcohol. Why does it happen? I mean, we're very sensitive now. We feel parallel world, and let's say we feel the other world very much. It can be connected with entities. That is, I want to touch this moment. That is exactly the essence. So, if we suddenly have a sharp smell of burnt rubber, for example, or the smell of a toilet, I bring my apologizing, or smell of a wet dog, that is probably nothing can be confused with these smells. That is you, I think, know them. This indicates that the demoness has appeared in the house. That is, it must be dealt with. It must be dealt with, as they say, sent to where it came from. That is not so often these odors appear, so here calmly treat them in any way. The next thing is if there is an odor of fallen leaves in the deep autumn, for example, yes, those are rot. That's how I would say it. Or rotting wood, so to say. It's a little bit different. That's where it's coming from. It means it's dead. Or there's also the smell of tobacco. That's exactly what it means. That somewhere there is something dead. Somewhere there is something dead. That is, a person who didn't die, for example, because people who have gone away as they should with themselves, yes. So these odors, of course, do not remain. They do not come back here. So it's to this. The next thing we have this very often, it's a sweet odor, or how common can it be? I think everybody has felt this smell. It is very, very sweet. That is, there can be vanilla and a flowering field and anything. We're the ones that have the munchkins. In your apartment. You can feel it, for example, there, if the neighbors threw the apartment there, or somewhere else, someone somewhere nearby. So this odor is so common enough, that is, it can be felt very well. So don't be too frightened. If you smell it, it doesn't mean that someone in your family has to leave. Or as we are very much connected to each other, and it means that is you can feel this odor also at a distance. That is that someone living somewhere from your environment perhaps, yes, or from your acquaintances should leave. This odor also appears, a bit unbelievable. By the way, we are not talking now about the odor that comes from people. It's a completely different situation because there are also odors that come from people, like rot, for example. It means that a person has some serious disease that is which should be either worked through, or again, if it is sweet, then just this odor is already coming for the person. Well, and I also want to touch on such an interesting odor. It's is kekimor. I will touch this topic about kekimos because kekimos can be not only in the swamps as we are used to see in fairy tales. Yes, they can also come to the house. That is another interesting thing. Here comes such a thing that here appears the smell of just swampy, yes, blooming water. By the way, even kekimora can leave traces on the floor wet, so that also understand this. If you have encountered this, then you have such an entity in the house, so something must be done about it. Here, I mean, it's like this. And the last odor, it is very common, which happens suddenly out of the blue. There is a smell of, old alcohol that is not good old alcohol, but as after a good drink, like someone has been drinking the whole night. So these are our larvae, our widespread, our favorite larivas. Therefore, my dear ones, that is, if you felt such odors sharply, it means that you can do something. I mean, as I've already repeated, you can review, by the way, again, and you'll know if it's demonic, not demonic, yes, reaper, or something else. But I just know that the esotericists understand it very well, who encounter this peculiarity just with these sweet smells. So they understand very well what is going on and what will happen soon. Because even when you are, for example, somewhere nearby near a cemetery, and just recently there's someone was brought there, let's put it this way. You can smell it very, very strongly here too. It is clear. That's it. I wanted to tell you briefly to dispel your ignorance a little bit, perhaps to know more about, to go over the smells. Yeah, because that's also a very common question. I will be glad to see you on my channel. Subscribe, give me your likes, write your comments. Goodbye, my good ones.